Hi there from the Bay Area. This is Keaton Andreas, the Assistant Director of Outreach for Child Family Health International. I'm joined today by one of our awesome CFHI alums who went on one of our 2-week programs, I believe, to Uganda. With us today from the Maryland area. If you could introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Akiba Drew. Like Keaton mentioned, I am from the Maryland area. I was born in Washington, D.C., and now I go to school in Maryland. I was one of the lucky participants to have traveled to Kampala, Uganda, for this global health experience. So.
Thank you so much for joining me today. We have time for just a few questions just to give people an insight into what our programs are like. I have been interviewing alumni such as yourself and making a collection of videos here to share with our many fans and people who are interested in our programs. Akiba, during your time, what would you say was your main takeaway from your experience?
Yeah, Keaton, thank you. So my main takeaway from this experience, I would say, there were a lot of them, but if I had to choose one, I would say just to keep an open mind when you travel to these countries and not to assume things. The reason being is this was my actual first opportunity for me to travel out of the country. I'd never traveled out of the US before. And so, the media won't always portray a country's culture exactly how it is. Sometimes they show you what they want to show you. And so you have to really just go there with an open mind and an open heart to be willing to accept someone else's culture and willing to change your mindset for those few weeks or months that you are there. And I think that's very, very important. I think you'll get a lot out of doing that.
I wanted to talk to you as well about CFHI's slogan is "Let the world change you." So, how has that been embodied for you? How have you taken the lessons that you've learned on your program forward in what you're currently doing? And could you tell us a little bit about what you're up to now?
Surely. So this motto has actually been reflected in my life since the trip in numerous ways. The first, in just 2 short weeks and being in Kampala, Uganda, it humbled me when I came back. I found that I was more resourceful, more innovative, and more creative. I'm a student at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, and I'm getting my Master of Public Health degree. And in my classes when I came back, I was able to I feel like I was able to bring more to the discussion. I feel like I was able to answer questions better. Our professors talk about international health and public health. And I went over there and worked in public health clinics and in medical clinics. And that knowledge that I was able to bring back was very helpful. It also changed me by making me more grateful. I think one thing we don't realize is how grateful we are right here at home in the US. And when we travel to another country and experience how other people live and how they lack certain things that we take for granted, such as healthcare, I feel like it definitely made me realize how grateful I should be and how grateful I am. Also, you never know what someone is going through until you really go there and you see what they are going through and how they are living their lives. So that was a very helpful experience for me, a very humbling experience for me. So, yeah.
And I know that before we got on the recording, you mentioned a little bit about your current internship. How are some of the things that you took away from your 2 weeks in Kampala playing into what you're doing right now with that internship? And can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Sure. So right now, as I am still a student, I am doing a summer internship, so I'm not taking classes right now. So from now until September, my internship is with the Department of Health and Human Services, specifically the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And so what I'm doing is I'm a health insurance specialist intern. And so that kind of plays along with my public health degree that I'm trying to achieve. And I wrote a proposal recently for an intervention for family planning, a family planning program. And the idea behind that proposal, that research topic, came from one of my experiences in Kampala, Uganda. And so in Uganda, I learned that family planning was a serious, serious issue. A lot of women experience unmet need in Kampala, Uganda, and they have a lot of kids that they don't want to have, and that therefore causes a lot of issues for them, such as malnutrition, overpopulation, higher maternal and infant mortality rates, everything. So unplanned pregnancies, and the list just goes on and on and on. And so that experience in Kabale just showed me how important family planning was, and I was able to bring that back over here, use that as my research proposal and submit that. And during my proposal, I actually created an intervention that could be implemented in a place such as Kabale, Uganda, which experiences unmet need, a high level of unmet need for women. So just going on the trip and just learning the scene over there and being able to come back to where you are from and just have that mindset where you're like, okay, I know I need to do something. What can I do? We can do things even though we're a million miles away. You know, we still can take those experiences. We still can do things with what we're learning here and the work that we're doing here. And we can apply those educational experiences from the trip and make things happen that way. So yeah, I actually got a lot out of that. So.
Very cool. I have one last question for you, and I'm just curious what your inspiration was to travel to Uganda. It's a really long way to go for your first international experience of your lifetime. So I'm curious as to what led to that decision.
I actually, Keaton, honestly have always wanted to go to Africa specifically as a continent, and just never knew exactly which country I wanted to go to first. I have a friend who actually traveled in the CFHI program with me. We both went to Uganda, but she's originally from Kenya. And Kenya sits up, you know, a little bit on top of Uganda. And so what happened was she was going home. She hadn't been home in like 10 years. And she was like, hey, you know, you should come with me to Kenya. And she's like, you know, while we're over there, we can go to Kenya first, and then we can do this global health experience with CFHI in Uganda. And so that's actually how that worked out. So I got to see not only one country, but the cultures from two different countries. And I'm able to now compare and contrast the similarities and differences and everything between those two cultures. And they are very different. So yeah, that's how that came along. And that was the inspiration for that. I knew that I didn't want to just travel and have fun. I wanted to travel and learn. It's fine to go out and travel and be on the beach or go on safaris, but I actually wanted to be doing something. I actually wanted to be learning something. And I wanted to be able to bring something back with me. So the Kenya, you know, that was fun and everything. And then when I got to Uganda, that was just like, okay, now I'm here to learn. Let me just take all I can and see where this goes.
Well, Akiba, thank you so much for your time today. I know I could sit here and talk to you for a very long time. The stories
I could talk for a long time about this.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, like, the stories of our alumni are so inspiring to me. It's the reason why I enjoy my work so much, and getting to write CFHI's story for other people to view and to witness. And thank you so much for your time today. For anybody viewing this video, if you want to learn about the Uganda location with CFHI or any of our other programs, go and visit www.cfhi.org. Until next time, this has been, again, the Assistant Director of Outreach, Keaton Andreas, for CFHI, and see you later.